My name is Ethan, and I'm 38 years old. For the past 15 years, I've worked as a crime scene cleaner. It's not a job for the faint-hearted, but it paid well and gave me a strange sense of purpose. I've seen things that would make most people lose sleep, but I've always managed to stay detached. Until the last house I cleaned. It was a chilly November morning when I received the call. A double homicide in a secluded neighborhood. The details were scarce, but that wasn't unusual. I packed my gear and headed to the address. When I arrived, the house was eerily quiet. The police tape fluttered in the wind, and the front door was slightly ajar. I stepped inside, the familiar smell of blood and death hitting me immediately. I took a deep breath and began my usual routine. The living room was the first scene. Blood spatter on the walls, overturned furniture, and signs of a struggle. I methodically started cleaning, trying to focus on the task at hand. As I moved to the kitchen, something caught my eye. There was a series of photos on the refrigerator, held up by magnets, a man and a woman, smiling at various events. Birthdays, holidays, vacations. Their happiness seemed so out of place in this house of horror. I felt a pang of sadness, but I pushed it aside and continued my work. Next, I went upstairs to the bedrooms. The master bedroom was untouched, but the second bedroom was where the real horror lay. The bodies had been removed, but the bloodstains and signs of violence were everywhere. I started scrubbing the floor, trying to block out the images in my mind. Then I noticed a small door in the corner of the room, partially hidden behind a dresser. It looked like a closet, but something about it felt off. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to take a look. I moved the dresser aside and opened the door. It led to a narrow staircase, descending into darkness. I hesitated. My job was to clean, not to explore, but something compelled me to go down. I grabbed my flashlight and carefully made my way down the stairs. The air grew colder with each step, and an uneasy feeling settled in my chest. At the bottom of the stairs, I found a small, dimly lit room. The walls were lined with shelves filled with old books and strange artifacts. In the center of the room was a table, and on it, a large leather-bound book. I flipped it open and started reading. The book was a journal, written by the man in the photos. It detailed his descent into madness, driven by an obsession with the occult. He wrote about rituals, summoning spirits, and making pacts with dark entities. The last entry was dated just a few days before the murders. It spoke of a final ritual, one that would grant him unimaginable power. Suddenly, I heard a noise behind me. I spun around, my flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. There was nothing there. But the feeling of being watched was overwhelming. I quickly closed the book and backed out of the room, my heart racing. I hurried up the stairs and back into the bedroom. I felt like I needed to get out of that house, but I still had a job to do. I tried to continue cleaning, but my mind kept drifting back to the journal and the sinister things it described. As I finished up, I heard footsteps on the stairs, heavy, deliberate steps. I froze, my blood turning to ice. "Hello," I called out, but there was no answer. The footsteps stopped, and the house fell silent again. I grabbed my gear and made my way to the front door, my nerves on edge. Just as I reached the door, it slammed shut in my face. I yanked it open and stumbled outside, gasping for breath. I didn't stop until I reached my van. I sat there, trying to calm down, my mind racing with questions. What had I stumbled upon in that house? Who, or what, had been watching me if I quit my job the next day? I couldn't shake the feeling that I had come too close to something dark and dangerous. The memories of that house still haunt me, and I'll never forget the terror I felt in that basement. Cleaning crime scenes had always been a job, but now, it felt like a doorway to something much darker. And I wasn't willing to find out what lay on the other side.